Okay, let me turn off the music. Oh, jeez. All right. Hello. I'm live here. I'm DC. I'm live here with Kareenah, and I'm just going to load up the file real quick. This is part 2 of a Plexus training gone wrong. I'm going to share, video file. And I'm just going to.
Excited to be here. I love kids.
All right. Nope. All right. So she's going to be bigger. And yesterday, I had lots of feelings. Kareenah said, "You need a battle buddy?" And I said, "Absolutely, yes." Kareenah also.
I said, let me.
Yes, I'm so excited to hear what she has to say. And she does have a son. And so I think that she can speak to this better than I can. I think it adds some credibility that she actually is a mom, and I am not. I just have big feelings about not exploiting children, and she's actually not exploiting her child in practice in real life. So I think that is going to help. And so Kareenah, hey Charlene.
I mean, regardless whether you're a mom or not, I feel like your feelings are very much valid. And in my opinion, you didn't say anything wrong yesterday. So I had a lot more to say than what I was saying in the chat, but I was doing stuff. So I was kind of just listening, popping in and out to chat. But I'm here and I'm ready. And you did great yesterday. I just felt like maybe you needed a little bit of support. So I was like, hey, you want to let me in?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I definitely was like, don't cry. And again, I think it's one of those situations. I appreciate your insight that you're going to give, because I think you can have a lot of hypotheticals about what you think you're going to be like as a parent, or what you think is the right thing from the outside looking in. And when you actually become a parent, I think from what I've seen, a lot of times I've said, hey, I said this, but in practice it's not that, or I didn't do it that way. But maybe that's not always the case, like with exploitation or whatever. But I definitely appreciate you being willing to hop on with me. So
yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. It's definitely different before you have kids than when you have kids. I found myself saying, oh, before I had Leo, I was like, I would look at how that child is behaving, and now I'm like, I had no idea. So I get it. I get where you're coming from.
Oh. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this up and try to get it to the same spot that we were at yesterday. And zoom. I think this looks about right. Maybe this is about right. Let's just see real quick.
And I'm going to have such deep faith. I'm going to believe that you can just magnify this and explode it. And it doesn't have to come at the expense of my family. It doesn't have to come at the expense of my children. I understand that you want to be present. I understand that you want to be a good mother. I understand that you want to have a happy home and a healthy home. That's the whole reason I created Align, is because I feel like you can have success, you can have fitness, you can have health, you could have a passionate relationship, you could have healthy children. Like, I believe that you can have all of those things if your life is in alignment. And alignment does not mean balance.
Notice how her business came before her husband and her children.
Yeah.
That shows where her priorities are. And I'm not trying to mom shame or wife shame. I said that in the chat yesterday. Yeah. But like, it's very telling that she put her business stuff first and then her family. And the fact that she says that she wanted to be a present mom, like, ma'am, you're making your kids pick up the slack that you're leaving behind so that you can have time for this. It shouldn't be the other way around. You should enjoy your family and make time for this, not the other way around. Like, it makes no sense to me, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think she's definitely, it seems like she either has an intentional or unintentional agenda about who she's speaking to, because she does want people to work on her team because it adds to her success.
Yeah.
If I didn't know this was Plexus, I would be like, what spiritual circle fuckery is this?
Same, Melissa.
Hey, Kat. Okay.
It means that you are aware that sometimes there are going to be busy seasons in one area of your life, and in other times there are going to be busy seasons in other areas. So there are areas of my life throughout the year where it's a real busy season in my business, but it's not all the time. Ask yourself, is it a problem or is it a season?
Okay. And I think she's trying to explain away the busyness that you would experience in a multi-level marketing company and trying to change that reality. Like we were looking at the thought control and the behavior control. where she's saying, hey, this is going to take up some time and that's normal and you should be okay with that, when you as an individual need to know what's good for your life or not. So sometimes it's actually a problem. Yes.
But also children.
Problem.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
also children need like attention, you know, like I feel like I've mentioned this before, but Leo is a pretty self-sufficient kid. He's a very independent kid, but also we have kids. My best friend's baby is very snuggly. He's a very snuggly baby. He's a very hands-on baby. He's a very, and then that they can grow into like toddlerhood and then, you know, kids being that way. So I feel like if you neglect your child's needs, because yesterday something that I felt to say in the chat was, she chose to be a mother. Her kids didn't choose to be here. So for her to me, it felt a little bit like she was pushing them to the side and like giving them all this responsibility that should not be theirs. Like I understand giving kids, yes, I understand giving the kids a chore or whatever, but giving them that much responsibility to where they're running a house is so much. And at the end, they're pretty much picking up the slack she's leaving behind. And she's making, I feel like, in my opinion, if she was my mom, I'd be like, she don't want to be around me. You know?
Yep.
I don't think she's doing what she thinks she's doing. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think that you're right. And she is doing something that benefits her and doesn't necessarily benefit her kids. I don't know.
It's something that you're doing because you're hustling for your worth. You're avoiding problems in your marriage or in your home. You are trying.
I know I'm going to add
external recognition or praise from people in Plexus or whatever it is. That's a problem. A season is when you've been blessed with the fruits of your labor and God is just raining down on you, and it is just a season. And the worst thing you can do in that season is say, no, God, I don't want it.
Okay. Again, apologies for the religious manipulation. I know that can be triggering for some people. It's certainly triggering for me, and I still say that I believe in God. I have been absolutely I have been hurt by the church and like people like this pushing their beliefs on their team who may or may not say that they're Christian and whatever she's doing. This is not, and she's using it for her own benefit. She's using her religion to benefit herself, to paint pictures and make everyone's reality okay so that they stay working in the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like also when she's, again, looking at this from the point of view of the children, in my experience, because I mentioned this in the chat yesterday, my dad used to work out of town all the time. I'm talking about since I have memory, he still does. He has his own little company and he works out of town a lot. We barely see him. Yeah. But when we were children and we needed him, when he was here, the time that we had together was, you know, good. Like I have good memories of me painting my dad's nails, me cutting his hair while he was asleep, like him building us kites out of like pipes and a plastic bag or whatever, because we couldn't afford to buy like a cute kite like the ones everybody had or whatever. But also now that I'm older, because he always prioritized his work and he was always out so much, I feel like this is where I'm speaking on behalf of the kids. I do resent him a little bit because I feel like he always did and still does put his job before us. Like, yeah, the time that he spent with us was good, but I felt like I always came in second. I still feel that way to this day.
Yeah.
So I think she thinks that she's doing something good and she's like benefiting from the fruits or whatever right now. Okay, so then when your kids are grown and they no longer need you and they no longer want to be around you, what are you going to do with all that money? What's the point? What's the point of that? That's my opinion. And again, this is based on my experience with my dad.
Yeah. And I think that's a fair addition to add to this, because I know that I was kind of stuck on that that thought trail, I guess, yesterday about you know, the husband or the wife, however you want to, whatever that looks like for you, and saying that the time spent could be quality time. But again, it is something to say that not having that time with your kids can impact them. And in your case, you know, you do have extra thoughts about not getting to spend that time with him. And it is something that, you know, you have to look at and say, like, do I want to do, you know, things differently with my family? And, you know, let's have those conversations and let's be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, it's not that the times that we did spend together weren't good and weren't like quality time. And I have a lot of good memories of my dad growing up, but I also remember a lot that when that phone would ring, he had to leave.
Yeah.
And I always felt like I came in second. I mean, but for example, when my mom had my brother's 6 years younger than I am, and he wasn't here. He wasn't around. My brother had a birth defect, and my mom had to go through basically the whole process by herself of him getting surgeries as a newborn. At the time, my mom wasn't driving, so she would have to ride the metro or like the city bus to the hospital every other day or whatever. So I feel like just because he's making the money and like he's doing something good for us, I feel like he could have been so much more helpful, and it would have taken some of the pressure off my mom being here. So for me, for when she said yesterday that she wants her husband to spend time with her kids, what it sounded like to me was, I just need him to take this load off of me so I can do what I want. And then my husband can finally feel what I've been feeling, which I get. As a mom, I get that. Like, sometimes I'm telling you, my kid is a pretty good kid. I'm not saying he's like perfect or whatever. He has his bad days, whatever. But sometimes it's one of those days where I'm just like, I cannot wait for my husband to get home just so I can be outside for like 10 minutes by myself in the quiet with no yelling, no screaming, no baby pulling at my leg. Like, I get wanting a break.
Yeah.
But not to this extent. This is just a little bit too far for me, in my opinion. That's just how I feel.
And then to paint it like it is the only, it seems to be like she added on those things at the end of her sentences, but you get the impression that she thinks this is the correct way for everyone to be, even though she gave that little statement at the end of her sentence, like, oh, but this might not be for you. And it's like, you can't just throw those on at the end and think that it's as impactful as you painting this like intense.
It's kind of like picture. It's kind of like making an income claim and then saying, but no income claims.
Right.
They don't cancel each other out, man. What are you doing?
So Charlene said it seems like her priorities got really skewed, possibly from undue influence from her upline. She's somehow justifying her behavior as a means to an end. Yep. And then Melissa said, if you want to, I relate. I hated how much Amway took my parents away from us, and I hated how somehow my brothers and I ended up feeling guilty that our stuff, which we had no control over, conflicting with Amway. Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about. And I guess from her putting that burden on her kids, that weight of, we're doing this, your dad can come home, and if you don't help participate in this, it's going to mean more time that your dad's away from us. And like, kids should not have to carry that burden.
They shouldn't even know that their mom is the reason why their dad is home. Like, that is too much information for a child. Like, my mom, like I said, my mom carried a lot of the burden, especially whenever my little brother was sick or whatever. And, you know, he had to like have all these surgeries and everything. But my mom never told me, you know why this is all on me? Because your dad's not here. Like, you know why this and that? No, my mom never made her feelings known to me until I became a mother.
Yeah.
So for her, and then her reasoning behind telling me what was going on is because I don't want the same thing. I don't want you to think like it's all on you because you saw me take all that burden and never said anything, never flinched an eye or anything like that. So I think, just her children know way too much. Like, she should just let her children be children and not be burdened with, oh, this is why daddy's home and we have to do this so mommy can do this so we can pay the bill, so we can get this, so we can eat out, whatever. That is too much. Kids should never feel that burden. That's adult stuff.
Yeah. And they should be able to form the opinions of their parent based. And this is limited, because if you see your parent like harm your other parent, I think that is obviously something that has to be taken into account. But I'm talking about in this situation where you're impacting your kids' view of their other parent based on your own experiences. And I think that's great that your mom didn't do that. So Charlene said, as children, our only reality is our family dynamic. So that's our normal. Not until we were mature and see other families that we can identify the negative aspects of our relationships. And when a parent neglects you, you learn to accept the crumbs of attention as normal. I can relate to that feeling wholeheartedly. Yeah. Yep.
All right. Sorry, I'm not going to show up for it. Oh, no. I mean, we're going to have like pasta and meatballs for the third night in a row. Nope, can't do it. I'm a bad mom if I do that. And he's like, wait a second, I'm raining on you. Like, I picture a Father in heaven just like being so excited when you are all in and you're like, okay, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I picture him up there, like with all the angels being like, I got a player. Yes!
No.
And he's just like,
no. Didn't Jesus flip a table because people were selling stuff in his house, in his father's house? Yeah. Ma'am, what are you talking about? Shut up. You don't even, for you trying to manipulate people with religion, you clearly don't know your book that you're preaching about. So shut up.
Let me find, let's see. I'm trying to see. There's one of these that's like where it's changing, instilling a new map of reality to this thought control that she's pushing on the people on this call. Yes. It's just crazy.
So excited to work with you and so excited to run with you. And they're like, woo, we got a player. Like, that's what I picture. And like, I want to be a player. I want to play full out. And I want with all of my being to believe that I am not limited because I am a mother. I am powerful.
Regardless of what you decide, being a mom in and of itself is incredible. She's coming into this with preconceived notions about who she thinks moms are. And that's coming across in how she's describing this. I just finished watching Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey on Netflix. So my cult filter is a little turned up right now. And the way this lady is talking is giving off culty vibes. Sorry, cult vibes. I say culty all the time. Yeah. Yep.
Because I am a mother. Because I am a mother, I know how to nurture, I know how to create, and I know how to do a lot of things. And I am not going to use motherhood as an excuse because I feel like that's an offense to God.
Oh, no. Motherhood. Okay, so this is just from a kid's experience. I have two brothers and 2 sisters. There's 5 of us, and raising all of us was a chore. We all are different. We all have lots of opinions. As we were growing up, we put my mom through the ringer. And Mom, if you're watching, I love you. I'm so sorry. And keeping humans alive, like, big deal. It's not big deal in a sarcastic way, but it's a huge deal. It's a hard thing to do all the things involved in being a parent, just from like a kid's perspective. It was hard. It was very hard. And Kareenah, I definitely want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, from a kid's perspective as well, before I talk about my mother's perspective. I feel like growing up, I remember my mom being annoyed all the time. And like, I talked about this on one of my episodes with Kayla, the anti-MLM mommies on Monday. Yeah. But I definitely remember my mom being a little bit more tense, a little bit more like frustrated with us when the house wasn't clean, when whatever, and I remember thinking, damn, why is she like this? Like, why is she like this? Once I had my kid, I was like, I'm sorry, Mom.
Yes.
I am so sorry because this is so hard. It's so much responsibility. And I just don't understand how 16-year-olds, no shame to anybody, but I'm just saying, I had my kid when I was 30, and I don't understand how 16-year-olds just take on that responsibility of keeping a tiny human alive. And if you are a young mom, hats off to you, because I was struggling as a 30-year-old to keep my tiny human alive. So I feel like as a kid's perspective, I kind of feel like she's more on the side of, I'm going to do me now. Like, I already birthed them and they're no longer like tiny babies. So I'm going to do me now. And again, it just feels to me like she's pushing her kids to the side. Now, my mom perspective, I'm going back to the same thing that I was saying. she chose to be a mom of several children. She chose, and I get that sometimes, you know, some stuff happens and you don't got control over a new baby coming or whatever. Things happen. But also, like, you chose to have those children. The children didn't choose to have you. So you should make room for them in your life. They should become your priority. And if you weren't ready to make your children your priority, then you shouldn't have had children. That's just my opinion. Like, I get that moms have really hard days sometimes. Trust me. Like I said, I often need a break. I often go to bed late because after bedtime is whenever it's the only time that I get a break. I get that. I 100% get that. I get that moms want to have their own time, and that's why they continue working and leave their kids at daycare or with a grandparent or whatever. I get that they want to work from home, but like, then what's the point of you working from home and shitting on 9-to-5s if you're not even there for your children? I don't, in the words of Julie Joe, the sense is not making. The sense is not making. She chose to have children, therefore she should take care of her children. I'm not saying she can't have time to herself, but this is just excessive, in my opinion. I could never.
And I have so many things to say. We'll just keep watching her because it makes me mad. And it's like, I don't want to get to the point where I can't articulate something, but lots of feelings, I guess, there's lots of feelings from what she's saying.
I feel like it's an offense to God, because that's like me saying, like, hey, you're not big enough for me to be a mom and for me to be a positive impact of light and hope in the world. And I believe so much so that the world needs more light, that the world needs more hope, that the world needs more good women shining, that the world needs more good women that are millionaires.
Stop worrying about the world and worry about your children. Worry about the damage that you're doing to them by... One thing that I said yesterday too in the chat was she's putting them in a position where they're going to want to be people pleasers, and they're going to be taken advantage of all the time because they feel like that's what they should do. One thing that rubbed me a really wrong way yesterday was that her kids go to other people's houses and start cleaning. What? What? That is just... No. That's very culty. Just in my opinion.
And when we used to go out to different people's houses, there was a certain conversation my parents had. Maybe this was wrong. They said, this is not your house. There's a certain way to respect other people's property. So you're not going to trash it. We're going to have a great time. There's some limitations, just like the conversation of like, don't be a dick. Like, just, and it's like, you make these relationships. And so like, sure. Yeah. We cleaned up when we got done playing with toys, but it's like, so we're going to go and clean someone's house and do dishes so mom can sell an opportunity. I don't know. Like, it's hard to really articulate like what I find wrong with that, but like making them feel like they cannot go to a house and they just have to serve. Like, that doesn't seem healthy to me. And if you have a different opinion, let us know in the comments or let us know in the live chat. Like, we'd love to have a conversation.
I mean, absolutely. I feel like my parents had that conversation with me too, but it was more of, it's not your house, it's not your stuff. So ask for stuff. Don't just walk up in their kitchen and open their fridge. Don't just grab toys that aren't yours without asking first. Or it was for me, it was don't ask me to stay over at nobody's house because you're not staying over. That was one of the things for me. So I feel like, we all have had that chat, but not to this extent of when we go to so-and-so's house, you better get with the chores. Like, no, like, let kids play and be kids. Like, they're already doing enough in your house. Why are you making them do shit at other people's house?
More good women that have influence, that are out there doing good in the world, and that we need to gather in all the good women in the world for strength. Like, what? Yes, you're supposed to be a great mother, but mothering is also mothering other people. Mothering these women that come into your business that don't have confidence, that don't have finance.
You know what this reminds me of? There's a saying in Spanish that is candil de la calle, oscuridad de tu casa. So the light of the street, but you're the darkness in your own home. This is what that reminds me of. Like, you do everything for other people outside your house, But what about the people, your own people? Like, why don't you help your own people? And this is one thing that my dad always did as well too, and still continues to do. Like, he goes above and beyond for other people. But whenever we need something, we don't have to beg, but it's a lot harder for him to get him to comply or like help out than if it was just like a stranger off the street saying, yo, I need some help. So like, this is giving me very much my dad vibes here, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yep. And it does seem like it's a little bit of encouraging love bombing, and it's like, let's cross boundaries, and it's like, you don't need to like force a familial relationship in a business setting. There can be separation, and to encourage people to pour into their team like you would do with your kids. I'm like, how does that engender like a healthy environment? No, like it makes them it seems like it would make them more attached to you and less like they want to leave. And like, I'm not about that. And I don't know, just
but also, how are you going to set an example that you don't even follow yourself? Like, who are you pretending for? Who are you trying to impress? Like, ma'am, take care of your kids, mind your business. It's not that hard.
Yep.
Answers that don't have the comfort that you have. Like, can we expand our definition of mothering?
No, do not.
I'm mothering a lot of people right now.
No, thank you.
And gosh dang it.
Let's just focus on our own family. Yep, that's it.
I love my humans and I'm mothering them. But I know that.
So like, this is publicly available on YouTube, and I did, because I'm responding to it, I did blur out her face. I'm not going to block you from sending me a DM and wanting to watch this so you can see her facial expressions, or you can see if we completely got this wrong or interpreted this incorrectly. I'm fine sharing the link over DM. I don't want to post it here because, I don't want targeted harassment towards her, but we're all adults. So if you want to watch her facial expressions, you can send me a DM and I will send you the link for sure.
Yeah, and just because we don't agree with her doesn't mean we want anyone to like go and hate on her. Like, whatever you got to say, leave it here. This is not like we're not trying to shame her, mom shame her or anything. We're just expressing our feelings of what she's saying. That's it.
Right. And because she is sharing this in a public way, she's training her team with these ideals. I think I think there's value in addressing some of the points that she's brought up and saying, hey, this is behavior control. This is thought stopping. This is emotional control. And if you're experiencing something like this, you might be unduly influenced for nefarious reasons. In this way, it seems like she's doing it unintentionally or intentionally to pad her commission check, because it benefits her for you to stay. And it benefits her if your family doesn't hate the fact that you do Plexus. And so it's all, there's a motive here for this. And I think that the way that she is speaking is unduly influencing her team and bringing a light to it, because it sounds very reasonable. She's not yelling. It's not like a JLW situation where you're like, holy cow, I can see maybe how, or like maybe even, with Dramus, with yelling and stuff, it's like, this is a little unappealing, but she's very calm. And so it's that same, like, are there problematic situations happening regardless of energy level? Yeah, there's problematic things that are kind of packaged in a normal, non-yelling situation, non-extreme situation. And I think it's valuable to uncover things like this as well. I'll shame her for sounding like a freaking cult leader. Yeah.
Playing small with what God has given me if I think that's all I can do. That's a lie from the pit of hell.
No.
That's what I got to say about that. And
okay, I'll just let her finish. There are nothing in the Bible about multi-level marketing. I don't understand.
So I don't know what you got out of that, but I was just feeling convicted to share that. Is like, listen, it's going to be messy. Pray for inspiration.
No.
Follow the inspiration.
No.
If there's a problem in your house, you're feeling guilt, you're feeling shame, somebody's reacting, ask what's really behind that. What does that person need? Or what are they afraid of? People act out when they have fear.
That person needs their mother.
Yeah.
That's what that person needs. That person needs their mother's attention, their mother's snuggles, love. They need a mother.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah. And she's also painting the people who would bring dissenting opinions in a certain light that, oh, you just need to make them happy, whatever it takes, make them happy so they stop bothering you about your business, when someone could say, we're losing money. We're not making any money. But but because they've been painted in a specific light, all of a sudden you don't hear, hey, we need to have a financial meeting and see what's up. And I'm not telling you to not do it, but like, spending $1,000 a month, spending $500 a month that we don't have, that's a big deal, and I really hope she's a victim of undue influence and these aren't her true core values. She's bothering me too, obviously.
I really do too, because if this is how she grew up, that explains a lot. Like, if this is how she was raised, that explains a lot. And not, bless you, baby, but not saying like you can't change how you were brought up. Because for me, like, there's a lot of things that, like, my parents kept me alive. Obviously, I'm here. Right. And I never, like, we went through I remember us going through some really hard times, not because they told me or whatever. I just remember, going through some really hard times and everything. But there's definitely things that I would do, that I am going to do, and that I am doing very differently with my child. I want to be more compassionate of my child. I don't want to be so much because I said so and what I say goes because I'm the adult. Yeah. No, I want to have conversations with my child. And I know if my Mexican mom hears me right now, she's going to flip out. But I don't care, because I want my child to know that he has a voice, that he is worth my attention, and much more than that. And hi, Abner. And that, that I'm here for him, and that nothing comes before him. Nothing. So I want him to feel loved at all times. And I'm sure he's going to make mistakes. And I'm sure once he's older, we're going to have fights. And I get that. But I don't want to make my kid feel like I felt, and feel like you're the issue here. Like, you're the problem here. You're the problem. Like, no, I wasn't the problem. I was just not getting the love and attention that I needed. And just because you kept me alive, that doesn't make you a good parent.
Right. Yep. And just because you can explain your parenting style to make it sound like normal doesn't mean that's a good parenting style, or that doesn't mean that you're not exploiting your kids, or you're not you're not manipulating them for your own benefit,
Yeah, and full disclaimer, I love my parents. Like, we have our issues, of course, because of the way I was brought up, because my dad was very much like this lady. Everybody else and everything else before my home. And he still very much is like that. And my mom, I think, I feel like she dealt a lot with the back. Like, my dad would break it and she would fix it. So that all that pressure was on her. So now I see where she was coming from. And now I see why she was always upset, and why she was always annoyed, and why she had very little patience for me and my brother. And I get that. And I think with that in hand, now I'm working on my relationship with them as I learn myself to be a mother. But that is not a kid's responsibility. Like, that is not, even now, I feel like that is not my responsibility to fix our relationship when I'm not the one that broke it. Like, I didn't know any better. You know what I mean? So I feel bad for these children, and I really hope that she snaps out of this, because your children are going to get old, and when they no longer need you. I feel like I don't ever want Leo to be in the frame of mind of, well, she did this to me and she never let me do, and she never gave me love and whatever. So why am I gonna be in her life now? Like, I don't need her anymore. So I'm out, And I feel like that's where she's pushing these kids. I mean, at least that's how I felt when I grew up in that way.
Yeah. Yep. And there's a spectrum of responses to having parents like this. Absolutely. Yeah. Janet said, yeah, I always got because I said so.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still do. I still get that a lot. And I'm just like, God, not anymore. Bye.
Yep.
And then make a small change. Focus a little bit of attention there. Explain to your kids in 1 hour after nap time, and stick with that promise. if you stick with your promises, even if you have a busy season and you've got to work a lot, you stick with those promises, they'll trust you, they'll understand, and they'll give you that grace to be in that busy season. So I hope that blessed you. I know it's super late for you guys.
I don't necessarily want something to bless me. I want it to be like, if I was part of a team, I would want to know that you actually gave, sorry, if you have little kids, just mute me. I don't know. Like, if you gave a shit about me and the time that I gave up to be on this training, that you would actually give me tools that were not manipulative to actually grow the business. And I know that we don't want anyone to be a part of an MLM, but wasting time like this just to continually keep someone in this manipulative cycle, it's rude, it's inconsiderate, it's wrong, and I don't have any patience for it at all.
And it truly is a waste of time, because no one's getting paid from this. Like, nobody's benefiting from
paid.
This.
Yep.
She is, but not her downline.
Yeah. Convincing people to stay on her team so that they can add to her commission check. She is. Yeah, absolutely. Kat said so many about what she said tied with her keep sweet tone of voice makes me think she was most likely raised in a high demand religion. Not meaning to imply anything negative about her voice though. Yeah. Oh yeah, I have. I'm a big, like, I can't look away sometimes when I'm watching this, and Emily D. Baker followed the Josh Duggar trial too, and it's crazy. It's a work training. I want skills and knowledge to do my job better, not blessings. Yes, exactly, Charlene.
Yeah, if you want blessings, you go to church. That's not what you're here for. Your job shouldn't dictate or shouldn't fate manipulate you. Like, no. Those are very different things, and they should be kept separate. Yep.
And Melissa said it's not so much her actual voice as it is just the feeling she's putting off. Yeah. It's the ideas that she's presenting. Yep. Okay.
Questions?
Brooke, that was amazing. I mean, amazing. I know it spoke to a lot of people because I've been looking at all the comments. And I mean, every word, you never know when you're running a call, like, and you saw, like, did that even? And like, God just always shows up and uses it. Does anybody have any questions for Brooke? Like, feel free to unmute yourself before we hop off. It's obviously it's a really great opportunity to have her on here.
It's obviously really late, and we're going to stay on later.
And I know I certainly have a question if nobody else does, but I would love to have you guys get those questions out first if you do.
Can I ask a question, Kim?
Yes, Katie, go ahead.
Okay. And I know maybe you had already kind of alluded to this. I think self-doubt comes out, and obviously it's part of working through, it's part of that self-growth process that is part of.
What if someone isn't Christian? Do they still have a place on her team? I guess so. I mean, if they don't present any dissenting opinions to what she's saying. And yes, I'm sorry, I did blur out all of the team members fully. I know that's I'm a very visual person. It's hard for me to watch something that's blurred out, but I just wanted to respect as much as I could their privacy. Even though some of the team leaders I feel like are public figures, I still like to see the background, so I blurred their face. So it was just a selfish move, but this one, I know that's hard to listen, and it's at least hard for me, so I apologize. I was just trying to do the best I could.
And Charlene, I think as long as they make her money, she doesn't care. As long as they don't like openly like debate her on her Christianity, she probably doesn't care because they're making her money.
Yep.
Plexus, and it's such a wonderful part of it. And I think it sounds like you are an incredible woman of faith, Brooke, and probably spend a lot of time in prayer and just asking God to kind of help you navigate that self-doubt. But what are some things that you did otherwise to kind of help overcome those moments where you were asking, is it working? How do I get through this? And going through those motions.
So I actually didn't have a lot of confidence.
I'm not trying to dig on anyone who prays, but teaching thought-stopping techniques was shut down reality testing by stopping negative thoughts and allowing only positive thoughts, including denial, rationalization, justification, wishful thinking, chanting, meditating, praying, speaking in tongues, singing, or humming. So that, again, earlier things that we heard her say, I'm not saying don't pray if you're a Christian. I'm saying that if if the information cannot be validated with like measurable things, then are you just praying to participate in these thought stopping techniques? And so I just want to bring that up because like we are able to logic through things, or that's the way our brain like works to an extent. So I just wanted to bring that up. And I will remove this so you can see the video.
My older sister always had a lot of confidence, and I never had confidence growing up. And so this was something that was a challenge for me to like step out and do something like this and go live and do calls and things like that. And I had a lot of mindset issues, and I'm not somebody that like thought I was the best thing since sliced bread, like at all. And so what I had to do to combat that is obviously the things that you were talking about with faith and trusting the Lord, but also I really had to put good in every single day. I was like the person like religiously, like every single Les Brown video there is, like I've listened to it, every single like John Maxwell, like podcast that would like.
If you don't understand, John Maxwell started out as a pastor of a church, and he began speaking at different conferences. And I don't remember when he left his church, but he, the MLM community uses John Maxwell to speak to their members. And while some of his leadership nuggets are good, they are used in the overall grand scheme, in my opinion, to keep people unduly influenced in their multi-level marketing companies. And so again, the people that she is asking them to listen to, and if you're specifically looking for information that validates a decision that you've made, like being in a multi-level marketing company, and the multi-level marketing company is not producing results, not producing measurables, and you're losing money, you don't need to stay listening to these people that are going to keep you in that situation. You have to be able to say, this is keeping me in that thought stopping mentality, and this behavior control, and this information control, and in emotional control. And so I just, be aware of that. Because she's not ever saying, hey, do a profit and loss. And if you're not making money, maybe this business isn't for you, because I do not want you to be financially harmed being associated with my team. Like that would be a shocker to hear on one of these Zoom calls. I never hear it. I never hear someone say, hey, you shouldn't be financially devastated by being a part of my team. And if you are, no hurt feelings, please stop being financially devastated. You don't need to be in this. I never hear her say that. I never hear any multi-level marketing person say that.
Yeah, you never actually get any actual knowledge, like anything that you actually need to know. Wow. For example, that you're going to have to pay a certain amount in taxes or like whatever, So give me some actual things that I need to know about this business, and stop talking about my fate. Like these things should not be in one. And if it is, run the other way and don't look back, because this is not okay. Like meshing your family life, religion, and your work together, that is not healthy. There's no boundaries. There's no no boundaries. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Lift me up. I have like Joel Osteen like in my ears, and like all like Red Rocks worship, and like I listen to all kinds of stuff, you guys. But like I had to incessantly listen.
The thing about Joel Osteen, he's the fucking worst. Like
yes,
I'm sorry if you're listening with babies. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He is the worst. Like when it flooded here, because I'm from Houston. For those of you that don't know, when it flooded here, this man barricaded the doors so no one could get in that church and be safe and like good. Yeah. They were not out of power. Their church wasn't flooded. Yep. Nothing. I was like, sir.
Yep.
Sir, you take all that money every Sunday. Really?
Yeah. Yep. And if you, I grew up in Houston too. And if you don't understand, his church is in the building that used to be the basketball arena. To give you for the Houston Rockets, to give you an idea of how effing big this building is, and for him to block it off is to be in the Bible it's saying like, hey, take care of the widows, take care of the orphans, take care of the people who are down and out. And so to say like, nope, our building's too shiny to help people. Like in a freaking flood, you're going, and this is my opinion, I'm so sorry. In a flood where you're basically saying like, no, we prescribe to be Christians, or ascribe to be Christians, and we're not going to help you. Are you kidding me?
Yep. I was infuriated. And his excuse was, it was flooded around the building, not the building. And then there was like aerial shots of the area, and it was not flooded whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I was like, my guy.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yep. Prosperity gospel, which is not in the Bible. The best.
Mm-hmm. To that. And I remember so many times, like I even very clearly remember when I was pregnant with my sixth, and I was up for, winning Mushaki against like Celeste Gwen's team, which is like 75% of the company. And I had this little baby team, and it was like, I don't know how, but I feel like I'm supposed to win this thing. And every day, like the opposition was against me, and doubt and like, how is this even going to happen? And I would go out and take a walk, and I'd put something in my ears, and I would cry. And I would just cry all that doubt out of me, and just like, but I had to put the good in.
Okay. She is reframing an emotional response. And I'm just going to put this up on the screen really quickly, because it's easy for maybe if you're still in a multi-level marketing company to say, oh, DC and Kareenah are just ragging on her because they're not in multi-level marketing. We're specifically talking, which one is it? Regulate individuals' physical reality. Where is it? Manipulate and narrow the range of feelings. Some emotions and or needs are deemed as evil, wrong, or selfish. And so she's talking about just get them out and then move on. So like, don't necessarily listen to what
Your
feels
gut.
wrong or your gut. Just keep doing the business. And it's like, whoa. What?
No.
What?
This very much gives me abusive relationship. Trigger warning, abusive relationship. I was once in one. It wasn't like a physically abusive, but it was like a very emotionally abusive, mentally abusive relationship. And it's it reminds me of, well, he said this and this, and he made me feel like this. But you know what? It's okay because he brought me flowers afterwards.
Yeah. I said I was sorry.
He loves me, and he said he was sorry. He didn't mean it.
Yeah. Nope.
So this is very much an abusive sort of relationship type of situation to me.
Yeah. And if you've never read been to Stephen Hassan's website on the bite model, if you Google the bite model, it'll come up and it'll show you some of these things that if you're like, am I in an unduly influenced team, or am I in a more of a culty team? And it's hard to wrap your mind around and saying, I would never join a cult. I would never. And I ended up in multi-level marketing. And so you go in and you can say, oh, does this match? Does this match? Does this match? So you can compare your own experience to like some of the hard like lines about what describes unduly influenced people. And so you can test for yourself. Don't let us say like, hey, I'm in Plexus. I'm not in a cult. Great. Just go look and see if your leader is unduly influencing you, because it benefits you either way. If they're not, if they are,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Either way.
Yeah. And if your gut is telling you something, listen, it's there for a reason. It's like when you're walking through an alley and you get that pit in your stomach, like something's not right, run. Same thing with this. You get that pit in your stomach, run. Like if it's not helping you in any sort of way, and even if it is helping you, I think that if you have a heart and you have a soul and then you find out how it is that you're making your money, that's when a lot of people, for example, Julie Joe, she experienced that. She was like, wait a minute. Erin too. They're like, wait, y'all trying to get us to make money through this hard time, which was, the panorama. And that didn't sit right with them. That was their gut telling them, no, something ain't right. We out. So I feel like just listen to your gut. Your gut is there for a reason, and it's there to protect you. And there's no reason why you should try and talk yourself out of feeling the way you feel. Like that's not. Look out for yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, who's going to do it?
Yep, exactly.
to overcome the bad. And so if you're not listening to books on Audible, if you're not listening to podcasts, if you're not listening to some of these greats in personal development, like literally start just going from video to video to video to reprogram your brain and to start thinking.
Reprogram your brain. Now, so I will say this. You can impact neural pathways in your brain. I'll give you an example. If, let's say, your kid snatches something out of your hand, and you don't like that behavior, you grabbing it back and saying, don't grab stuff, doesn't fix anything in their brain. So you leave it with them and saying, how do we ask for things? Okay. Can you put it back in my hand? And then let's practice.
Say,
you
please.
ask it and then you give it back to them so that they can change the behavior. And so like reprogramming your brains for her sole benefit is so culty. If you are brainwashing yourself, you got to have morals and a soul to get and maintain these top ranks. Yeah. Especially if you just had a baby, hormones are raging. Yep. Just crazy.
Thinking differently about yourself and what's possible for you. I think if you put enough good in, you get to push that bad out.
No,
and that's literally what I did for.
That's literally not how it works.
3 years straight. And
he's really saying all the quiet
day,
parts out loud.
Yeah.
Really, like, don't just no.
Yeah. If that were, I'm not going to get into serial killers. Okay.
almost every day. I'm not as good about it every single day, but almost every single day I'm reading something or listening to something because I still struggle with this. This is my weakness, but God gives us weaknesses so that they can be used for our good. So don't hate.
Nope. Theologically incorrect, ma'am. I want Julie Joe to watch this and just give us her like master's perspective on this, because like I just can't.
Your doubt, don't hate your anxiety, don't hate your fears, love them because they're there to teach you a lesson and to help you to develop the strength and the faith that you need to if you're willing to take action. So I was willing to listen to something every single day and put that good in so that I could change my thoughts and the way that I saw myself.
I'll have to fix that blurb.
I always recommend everybody listen to Les Brown's 14-part series on YouTube. It's like,
Maybe we'll have to. Oh, hi. Oh my gosh. He's so cute. Oh, I just deleted it. Gosh darn it. Let me get back. No. Oh, sorry. Apologies.
He's like, I want to sit next to mommy. So.
Oh, your co-host. I love that.
We're talking about with faith and trusting the Lord, but also I really had to put good in every single.
Okay, I can't listen to that again.
Day, but almost every single day.
Okay.
YouTube. It's like 14 different short videos. If you want a place to start.
Thank you, Brooke. Does anybody else, Katie? I hope that was helpful. I'm sure it was. Anybody else have a question for Brooke?
So great to have you on this call. You're so amazing. I love your spirit.
It's not for lack of trying.
I'm one of the older, I might say, in age numbers. I'm like my heart and soul on this team. And any advice?
How old you are?
Any advice for someone over 50, to help grow their business and they're getting encouragement? Because my kids are grown now,
Yeah, so I can't use my kids to help me sell my product. Okay, you're in a perfect place. And she's about to answer this question that says, like, your age shouldn't matter. For sales, it would be helpful of her to give advice on how to sell her product without using your children to do it. I do
have grandchildren, and the mothering of people, I really get that because I mother everybody. Ask Kim, she'll tell you. But it's for older women going into this business.
So the first thing is to stop telling yourself you're too old.
Yeah.
Like you have to stop even telling yourself that. I have a 55-year-old Emerald on my team, and she has 7 daughters. And the last one's still at home, but she's 55 and she's an Emerald. And the way that she built her business is, the beautiful thing about being in your 50s and the benefit that you have that many of us don't have is you have these lifelong relationships, and you've developed and nurtured really good relationships with people.
The benefit that you have that we don't have is that you have unlimited time and your kids are in your way.
Yep.
I feel like that's what she wants to say. Like, your kids are no longer in your way. You have all of this time on your hands and all this extra money because you no longer have to support kids. So all in. Waste your retirement fund, baby.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just can't. I can't believe she's saying this. And again, she's what in her, I'm guessing she's in her maybe later 30s, maybe early 40s. And I would not be asking a younger woman how to do something as an older woman. Yeah, why didn't she just say, like, why don't I connect you with the person on my team who's the same age and y'all can share ideas? Literally saves about 5 minutes of this answer, and you can talk to someone who knows. Oh, cute. Oh my gosh.
He's like hugging me and looking over like, what you doing, mommy?
Oh, that's so sweet.
I think the first thing is just dropping that story, because when you drop that story, you're going to drop 1,000-pound weight. The second thing is understanding I really have an advantage here. I have a superpower. I have all these relationships that I've developed, and all these women in their 50s and 40s and 60s, they need these products more than anybody.
I love how
they're starting to have chronic health.
She specifically like assumed that she knew the age range of this woman's friends. Like, I have friends of all different ages. Not everyone does. Not everyone does. I get that. But she's assuming that this person only has relationships with people a little bit older and a little bit younger than her. Hi, co-host. Leo, the co-host. Okay.
Health issues.
Oh.
And so I think for someone in your age range, a lot of times the physical gatherings are really popular. Like, have lunches. They don't have to be big sip and sees, but I was doing a training for my Ohana Jewel School today where I was like, hey, a sip and share doesn't have to be like a whole big thing. Like, what if you invited 3 or 4 of your girlfriends to come to lunch? And you brought samples and you didn't spring it on them at lunch. You said, I'm going to bring some samples. I'm going to talk about some things that can help you in your 50s, 60s, whatever, with me, but I'd love to get together and have lunch. So doing like those physical kind of gatherings that are more relationship oriented, because I can tell you're big on relationships.
Stop muddying the relationship waters that you've already cultivated. And if you're feeling the struggle of manipulating relationships you've already developed, listen to that feeling. I cannot tell you the amount of regret I have with listening to my upline over my own intuition about saying this is manipulative, I shouldn't do it. And I do not compromise on a lot of things. And I thought that she was giving me good advice. At her knowing who I was as a person would say, wow, she really cares about being ethical and having integrity. I'm not going to give her advice that goes outside of like what she wants to align with. I say alignment loosely. But I know how it's viewed here in this genre, and she gave me advice that I compromise my own values, that I don't compromise for anyone. And I have regret. Like, keep the relationships that you're able to form, keep them, protect them. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, there's nothing worse than the regret that I feel now, having, tainted those relationships with freaking multi-level marketing bullshit. Oh, sorry. I'm glad you have earphones on. I just cussed. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I curse all the time. Don't worry. But I was thinking that I feel like in this case she has ruined the relationship with her partner by taking him out of the job that he probably loved and went to school for really long to do, which he's a doctor in the medical field somehow. She's ruining the relationship with her children, but that's not enough. She got to ruin the relationship with this lady and her friends. Yeah. Ma'am.
Yep. And no. What? So like what does this look like? She sells to her friends, hit or miss whether they stay, but that initial commission payment, that volume boost benefits the lady giving this team training. And what is that other lady below her left with? Potentially damaged relationships, damaged friendships. And is it possible that if you say this up front, that her friends are going to be okay with it, sure, but there's also that possibility that you're damaging that relationship and the trust and that you've built. And I have lots of feelings about corrupting.
Yeah, and I feel like this is one of the main reasons why a lot of people in MLMs have a hard time leaving. It's not just oh, well, I'm done kind of thing. Like some people do have that, but a lot of 90% of the people that leave MLMs feel stuck because they have ruined the relationship they had previous to the MLM. And now, because they're leaving the MLM, all the relationships that were very conditional and, they benefited someone are now over as well. So now they feel like they have to stand alone by themselves and they feel stuck. Yeah. So that is why I will never not say it, this business model is very predatory. It preys on moms. It preys on women, older women. It preys on families, like just basically anyone that wants something better. And I feel like this is why I cannot back this business, like this business model. And this is why I will not shut up about it, because it ruins families, ruins relationships, ruins people financially. Like, no, it's just, no.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
So how can you gather people? Maybe they're not going to want to do things over Zoom or messenger parties or things that might feel more technical. Your superpower is probably going to be in gathering people together and then helping them gather people together. I had also a lady that was 50 go emerald in like 5 months by doing this. She had
She just said I also had a lady who was 50 go emerald. Did she not stay emerald? And I could, she might be alluding that she re-ranked out of emerald, but did she maintain emerald? I'm curious.
Every single Thursday night, she had a sip and share at her house. Same night, same time. Women would come and she'd be like, next week, bring back your girlfriends. Next week, bring back your friends. And it just like grew and grew and grew. So maybe think about doing that. But the first step is like literally eliminating this story that you're telling yourself, which is I'm so much older than these other girls. And I'm,
again, a thought stopping technique that she is telling people to do, because I do understand the idea that age is just a number, but she's also being ageist as she's talking to this woman to overcome her own insecurities. But you should listen to your gut. You should listen to your gut.
I'm too old for this. Like I would die to be in my 50s and starting this business. So shifting it to, I hit the jackpot. This is the perfect time. I also feel like a lot of women in their 50s are going through a change where they're retiring.
When is it not the perfect time? When is it not the perfect time? That's a question I want answered by every person in the MLM. When is it not the perfect time?
Yeah. I mean, and again, it doesn't make sense because she joined earlier, she gets a longer time to get paid from the compensation plan as she has moved up. So if she joined when she was 50, she'd have less years being paid by the compensation plan. So why does it make sense that she wants to be older and starting this business? I don't make it make sense. We don't know.
And they're looking for purpose. So posting more about purpose, talking about purpose and this time of your life changing. There's also a lot of women, unfortunately, in their 50s that are now single or divorced, right? Maybe their husband got the younger wife syndrome. I don't know. Like things happen, right? And so there's also women that are looking for income. Like
prey on, sorry, I didn't blur her face very well. She's saying prey on people. Again, and I
just got divorced.
Yeah, prey on single people. Leave single people alone. They already
they're living their best life. Let them be.
Yeah, they're living their best life, and we don't want to exploit anyone. She's literally saying exploit people who have gone through. And I would say leaving a long-term relationship does hold trauma for people, and it's already hard enough trying to overcome whatever bad stuff happened. And so it's just, like losing that long-term relationship, it's hard, even if you feel better about it. Like that's a lot of time,
friendships, posting to that, because I feel like women in their 50s, like their kids are grown and now they want something to really sink into that'll give them purpose for the rest of their life.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So good.
So like
Guys,
you only
does
got a
anybody
few
else have
more years
anything?
left
Brooke,
in you.
Yeah.
So like you only have a few years left in you, so you might as well have fun and ruin your life the rest of your life. What?
Janet, I feel like we need to get you on a live sometime and just let you go
Yeah.
off, because I would love that. I know Kareenah would love that.
Yep. I love me some Janet.
Yep.
I love how you were saying too, though, that like she could start hosting these sip and shares. And I think that would be great for her. But when we just focus on, it's almost like the symptom, right? Versus getting to the root. Like if she doesn't truly believe that she can do this business, then it doesn't really matter what action she takes. And that's where you said something in the call that I was like, man, that was me this morning in my time with God. And I messaged Chelsea, my sponsor, and I was like, Chelsea, like I just had a breakthrough, because I've been realizing the other day, she said something like, I feel like you still haven't like fully embraced Plexus, that like, this is what you're doing. And I thought about it. I was like, so she's right, but she's wrong. But there's something there, because it isn't Plexus. It isn't network marketing. Like for some people, that's the hang up, right? But for me, I have some really deep seated beliefs around what it looks like to be a good mom, like you were talking about, and needing to change that definition.
Too.
And I've become aware of that, and how much for me, because my mom died when I was young, that I'm like, well, I might only have until I'm 50. And so I've got to be super present now. And that it's actually not allowing me any freedom in my life. And then my kids actually aren't getting the joyful and the mom I want to be anyways. Right. So like it is.
I'm not a mental health professional. I don't have any degrees in medical anything or certifications. It is reasonable to say there's trauma associated with losing your parent at a young age. And for her to say, I do want to be present and spend time with my kids, that sure does seem like good reasoning to spend time with your kids, because you didn't get that with your parent. And I know that you can't, it doesn't seem like it's healthy to live in fear, but it's a factor. It certainly is a factor to say, I want to spend time with my kids. And if this multi-level marketing company is taking up more time than you thought, and I think it's that cognitive dissonance where you're like, this is making me uncomfortable. And then you choose to still do it anyways. And you can't resolve that uncomfortable in spending time away from your kids. And yeah, should she be able to do some other stuff? I think so, but to not acknowledge that, it just seems wrong.
Y'all, Leo's just over here poking his nose. Look at him. I was gonna say about this, like I feel like she wants to be a good mom because she didn't have a mom, and that's really, really sad. And like you said, there definitely is some trauma that's stemmed from this. I don't want to laugh, but this little dude is crazy. But I feel like if she really wanted to, I hope that she has some sort of work-life balance and isn't as like, crazy about the spending time with my business type of thing as the other lady, because that would be really, really sad if she didn't have her mother herself and then now she's depriving her own children from her mother by being in this business. That'd be really effed up.
It's a very potentially devastating cycle for sure. Hi. Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
To sit in that space, you said, though, because it's hard. And Chelsea knows right now, everything feels hard. And, even me, right? Like I'm in the top, 20, whatever the company. And I'm still sitting in the thick of the heart. It's hard. And I actually want to give up right now because this is a big thing. It's shaking, but I have to sit.
It's shaking everything that you've believed and everything that you've decided is
her saying that this situation is going to shake everything that you believe is setting the ground for accepting things that go against your natural gut instinct that's going to protect you. So, I understand, like, as you're learning a new skill, sometimes there's stretching involved if you start something new, but she is basically saying, like, this is going to cause turmoil, and turmoil is normal. No.
She wants them to what's it called? What did she say earlier? Reprogram their brain.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All the other people love you.
Leo, are you the co-host? Oh, you can't hear because you have the headphones in.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so cute.
absolutely true. And it's like, whoa, oh my goodness. It's like me, growing up being taught like the man is the provider. The woman is the nurturer. She stays home. And as I was going through this, like, I just had this revelation one day that was like, But what does it mean to provide? To provide love?
There are so many different working relationships in a partnership, and categorizing them as what the quote unquote woman's supposed to do and quote unquote man is supposed to do is just such a gendered and old school line of thinking. Like, partnerships work together and they're creative, and if that means that someone does something that's not traditionally like normal in society, like go. I don't. She's not taking into account all the people in the world, basically.
Yeah, I was definitely raised like that as well. But as I mentioned before, we don't run our house that way. Like, it was very much growing up. My dad worked and my mom took care of the house and took care of us. And then, that was it. And my mom really had no say in the finances or anything like that. But we don't run our house that way. Like, just because I'm a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean that I don't have a say. And if anything, actually, I feel like my husband trusts me to make, like, he obviously makes a lot of big decisions as well, but he trusts me to make a lot of the big decisions with him. Or if he just doesn't want to deal with a certain thing, he's like, what do you think? What do you want? What do you think we should do? So this is also targeting a certain group of people that are like just wanting to what's it called, like, build with their partner, and they've never had that chance. So they're like, probably this is it. Like, this is what's going to help me be an equal to my partner. And I mean, we saw it in the Herbalife thing we did the other day, that where the husband wouldn't stop telling the wife that, this is your fault. This is because of you. We lost so much money because of you. So it's definitely I don't like these people.
To provide encouragement, to provide education, to provide support. Why have we defined provide as just money? Why are we so limited? And so that kind of blew it all open for me, is like, yes, like, he is a provider, but he provides so much more value than just money.
Well, when he was a doctor, he was saving lives, I assume, or helping people with things no one else could help them with. So he is providing what you would say is more value, but he wasn't in a valueless job before. And I would say no job is valueless. But being in a doctor, that is not everyone can be a doctor. So
I do too. And we're equal.
I think she's making it. Sorry, I was trying to mute myself.
Yes,
I think she's making it seem like her business is more valuable than what her husband was doing.
Yeah.
And again, like, her husband went through all that school, all that medical training, and like, for what,
Yeah.
I feel like at the end of the day, he's gonna end up. Hopefully not, but I feel like he's gonna resent her as well for not letting him pursue his career that he worked so hard for.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility. I mean, if I every single day ragged on my husband's job, that would influence him either in staying or leaving if I wasn't supportive of him. And same with me, with my job, what I've been doing for the past 12 years. So it's a two-way street, and what you say matters, and your negative thoughts about something are impactful.
So yeah, it's shaking that sort of foundation, and this is the hard, but like, when it's really hard like this, for any of you that are watching it, when it's really hard that you're in the right place. It's just another level that you have. No. You're in whatever place you are most of the time, like, because you choose to be there, or maybe you're stuck there. But if you're in an MLM, you're not stuck. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know not everyone has the ability to access to the American dream. I'm not trying to discount those limitations and those kind of horrible limitations that are on some people here in America. But if you're an MLM, you're not stuck. You are absolutely not stuck. You can absolutely leave at any time. And so her saying that, because it's hard means you're in the right spot. No.
Nothing that is worth something good should be that hard. Like, yeah, I understand having to work for like a goal or whatever, but when it's putting your relationships, your parentship, your financial ship, I don't know if that's a word, but if you, like, you're putting all these things in the balance for this one thing that probably might give you some benefit. No, that's not That's not right. That's not how that works.
Yeah. I know all of y'all are probably already subscribed to Kareenah, but she was a gem and hopped on my channel today. If you haven't already subscribed to her, I would love for you to go over there. It's Kareenah Hurtado. I think it's the same writing as on right here on her name card. So if you're in the replay crew, we love you so much in a non-culty way and would love for you to go over and subscribe to her channel, because she is a super incredible voice in this genre. I'm going to go ahead and press play.
Have to bust through and some things that you have to learn. And the cool thing is you don't have to abandon it's like some people are like, I don't want to abandon my faith. I don't want to you're not abandoning those things. You just have a different understanding. I just have a different understanding for me. And it's okay if somebody else has a different understanding of what provide is. I'm not put on this earth for everybody to like everything about me and what I'm doing. I'm on this earth to really seek that understanding between me and God, and to have that relationship and that understanding of what I'm supposed to do and what provide means for our family. So,
okay, I love that, guys. Before we hop up, everybody, please take a minute, just drop her some love in the comments and thank her so much. Brooke, if you wouldn't mind dropping either in our thread after or in there. I guess Daddy was asking the names of the people that you have in that age bracket, so maybe she can.
Yeah.
She said, thank her in the comments for what? For encouraging you to ruin your relationship with your children and your partner and your friends and throw your money down the drain? Yeah, okay, thanks, I guess.
Yeah, and what sales training did we get when we chose to stay up later? The Zoom call apparently was on very late at night, and you're asking your whole team to make a sleep sacrifice, sleep deprive them for what? For what? And so she is making this training, like Kareenah said, to manipulate them into staying longer on the team. It's just wild. It is so wild.
Just follow for some inspo.
Yeah, Chris Akeen. Chris Akeen is the one that's 55. So she's a good one. She's super solid. And the one that went emerald really fast, she ended up going really fast and she was kind of like a fly by the seat of your pants kind of fun person, and had a ton of money and really just she went emerald really fast and didn't stick with.
She had a ton of money in religious what?
But Chris is a solid person.
Exactly. So because she was religious and she let you manipulate her, she went emerald really fast.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to tell me here?
Oh.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. And if you haven't, if you are struggling with time, I know Kim has told a lot of you about it. Sign up for my Mastering Time workshop, where I'm going to go over the 4 pillars of time management, and you'll get a deep.
Because I think it probably includes making your kids do a lot of the chores around the house, and so then you can, focus on your business if you have children.
For understanding of how to manage your time and how to create the life and the business that you love in these 4 pillars, and to live in alignment for you, which is different. Your alignment is different than my alignment. It's different than Chelsea's. We're all had.
Oops, sorry.
Provide needs for our family. So really fast. She ended up going really fast, and she was kind of like a fly by the seat of your.
This means that she's no longer in the business, probably.
Pants kind of fun person, and had a ton of money and really just she went emerald really fast and didn't stick with it. But Chris is a solid person to follow. So thank you guys. And if you haven't, if you are struggling with time, I know Kim has told a lot of you about it. Sign up for my Mastering Time workshop, where I'm going to go over the 4 pillars of time management. And
if you're struggling with time, ignore your kids and make them do your chores, and schedule time for them rather than doing it the other way around.
Yeah. I'm curious as to what all the nuggets are in that course.
You'll get a deeper understanding of how to manage your time and how to create the life and the business that you love in these 4 pillars, and to live in alignment for you, which is different. Your alignment is different than my alignment. It's different than Chelsea's.
So what I was trying to say earlier when I messed up and went back, she's saying willy-nilly now, do whatever you want. But she also painted this picture about what emotional emotions you're supposed to feel when something is right, what emotions you're supposed to feel in this opportunity. So she's painted this picture. All of these negative emotions mean that you're in the right spot. And so now she's saying, but do whatever you want. You can't just tack that on at the end when you've made such a clear and pointed commentary on the business and what the business looks like. So
yeah, like, let me tell you what to do, but then also do whatever you want.
Yeah. And it's like 90% telling them, or 95% telling them what to do. And then the 5% of, but do whatever you want because I'm not a control freak. And it's like,
clearly you are.
I'm sorry, control freak type of behaviors, not a control freak, but yes.
We're all going to be a little bit different, but these pillars are like true pillars of time mastery that I think will help you if you're struggling with this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That's the end. Well, this was a shit show. And I'm so grateful that Kareenah was able to hop on. And I don't know, like, what do you think this, if you saw part 1, it's 2 hours long, and not to discourage you from watching it, but some of the things she said, I was like, what is happening? What? And again, these ideas get picked up and shared by other multi-level marketing companies and other reps in multi-level marketing. So the ideas are very powerful and they move fast through people who are pro multi-level marketing. And I'm not saying to like control or censor or gatekeep or have information control. I'm saying I want to address ideas that are insidious, that are being brought up and shared because they actually harm. And yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, I got a monkey on my lap.
You're good.
But definitely yesterday was a lot more crazy than today. You definitely had a lot of more controversial things to say yesterday. Yes. I feel like. But regardless, I don't think this is. I'm not trying to parent shame or mom shame anyone, but I feel like she's definitely being excessive with the kids, and that is, her priorities are where they should be. And I want to say again, I'm not trying to mom shame, and I totally understand as a mom of a little monkey here that sometimes we need our breaks and we need to have our own projects. And I've definitely said that to my husband multiple times. Like, that's why I do YouTube. That's why I like do nails on myself or whatever. That's why I make my little baskets and stuff, because I need something that's me for myself. That has nothing to do with Leo, nothing to do with him. And that's not because I don't love them or whatever. It's just I need that time for myself. And if that's completely okay. That's completely okay, but this is just very excessive. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think there's a difference in like mom shaming, but because she's influencing all of these people, and if there's no other commentary to balance out what she's training on, you kind of end up in a undue influence situation where people start picking up these ideas and implementing it in their own families. And then thank you to whoever's just subscribed. I appreciate it. It's just, I think it's important to address. I think it's important to find these more chill people additionally to look at, because they're saying things that are just as dangerous as kind of the emotional turmoil that we get with being screamed at for an hour from the multi-level marketing reps.
Yeah, and I feel like seeing things like this is definitely very important, because what's it called? This isn't just affecting that one person. Like, as we saw, she talked about her partner, she talked about her children, she talked about her family. And so it's affecting not only her and her finances, but everyone around her. And I feel like that's one of the things that they fail to see, and how much of a consequence them being in this company, or like having the approach that is taught to them like this, is going to affect their life in the long run, even way after they're out of the MLM, if they're lucky enough to get out of the MLM before there's like severe damage to their finances or their life,
Yep. I think that's a good place to To end this, I'm DC. This is Kareenah. Kareenah has her own incredible YouTube channel, and she has been super kind to me and paired up a couple of times to go live with me. I'm DC. I am a graphic designer, and I like to talk on the internet some.
Yeah, same here. I'm here whenever you need. You've also been very kind to me, very nice to me, and I appreciate that. So, and also I love your content. Again, I've been binging your content lately, and I love it. So.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
If you haven't subscribed to DC, you should.
Oh, thank you. Thank you to the live chat. Big thanks to the replay crew. You know I like hanging out with you guys in the comments. Please leave them. We love to chat with you in the comment section, and we will see you in the next video, and Kareenah will see you in her next video. So bye. Way bye to Leo.
What? Say bye, see you later. Say bye, see you later. Oh, you shy all of a sudden?
All right. Everyone have a good evening or day whenever you watch this, and thank you so much. Bye.